Morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? Are we emotionally screwed up and sleep deprived? Or are we emotionally deprived and sleep screwed up? Yeah, that's me both ways. This is your zombie out here, the Weaver John C. of Roseman, California. Who also does the diary of a griever named John Weaver, which is me. 3:43 in the morning for Sunday, the 5th of May, 2024. Oh, hearing a bunch of fun stuff happening. How about the student aid package is still getting screwed up because of the changes the people putting out the FAFSA are trying to make it simplified, and every time they keep trying to make it simplified, trying to take out a few questions here or there, kind of tighten it up a little bit. Apparently, the processing is taking a little bit longer than necessary because of several weeks ago, actually last month. I still got to get that paperwork in. I still got to register before anything else happens. If I can get my online classes through AV College of Lancaster, California, then maybe, just maybe, I'll get my foot in the door again this semester. Am I looking forward for the fall? Yes. But being a caregiver as I am, wondering about how the hell my dog's going to be doing at this point over here, not to mention anything else going on. It's been taking a toll. It's been taking an emotional toll. I'm struggling, but I'm dealing. I'm coping with it. I was also alerted to the fact that when I was scrolling through certain posts on Facebook, a friend of mine, long ago, had been reminded of a heavy anniversary that for those who have actually lost people, we know it too darn well, and it still gets difficult to deal with each year. I've discovered it's gotten worse because every time I'm getting older, I know I'm getting closer to that point where I'm going to be doing my own releasing of the mortal coil. The pain gets worse and worse. I mean, hell, if I had lost Ma and Dave a long time ago, I mean, not just within the past decade and a half, and I'm talking about maybe 2 or 3 decades ago, I think the pain would have been a hell of a lot worse dealing with it. I'm still coping. I'm still functioning. I'm still struggling. And I have a feeling that a lot of the people are doing the same thing. They get triggers. Something will get to them, and they get the emotional release coming out. Basically, for me, in my case, it would be praying and pleading to God to forgive me that I'm going through this process in the first place. And as I said before in my other videos a long time ago, I'll remind them anyway, that life mourns and grieves. We're not the only species on the earth that does this. There is mourning, there is grieving among the animal kingdom, both in the ocean as well as on land. So we're dealing with that. We're dealing with the anniversaries coming up, at least on the human side. But I know that the animals do grieve, especially when they make a life partner. And if that life partner is gone, they will mourn, they will grieve, and they will grieve heavily. Just like some of us humans out there who you know, had made the family the life partner, basically. And losing the life partner, it does become more and more of a struggle for survival. I'm not going to remind you about triggers because you already know about the triggers. You already have your triggers. You're just not comfortable in dealing with that concept, but it is there. And the triggers are a pain in the ass to deal with because we are reminded life is fragile, life is short, but even during that time we can make relationships And they are intense, brief, fiery at times, close. Sometimes we'll have it combative, but we do feel a deep kinship, a deep special bond somehow. And when you lose those connections, stability and support structure that you've already put into it, it's been shaken down to the foundations. No one wants to talk about it as much, except in therapy, and that's about it. It's the most personal, humbling, embarrassing thing to talk to another person about it because this is opening up their own wound. They don't want to face it, deal with it, touch it. You have to take pills for it. You have to drink it down. You have to do something external to knock out the pain because you don't want to deal with the loss. I have not been under any substance. I'm dealing with it head on. It's a pain in the ass, and I still deal with it head on, a pain in the ass, because that's how I choose it. There's a lot of ways to deal with this damn pain, and some people actually even pick an early grave. And the problem is they'll still have to deal with it in the afterlife. I mean, if they are qualified to see their family, I hope. Maybe rejoin them. Maybe seek forgiveness for taking the early exit. Me, I'm struggling day by day and dealing with life on life's terms as it is. Don't call me brave. Don't call me anything else. I am Guy struggling. I'm a human being struggling, and I know I relate to other people that are struggling like crazy over their pain. That's the only thing, and the only way we know how is to struggle together as groups. So if I have a small group regarding the grieving and mourning process, good. At least I know I'm not alone. So for those that I know, they're celebrating anniversaries even today on this date. We deal, we struggle, we cry, we pour our hearts and soul out. We waste a hell of a lot of Kleenex. And we just try to make it another day. Today's the only day we've got. I don't know about tomorrow. Let tomorrow take care of itself. And the past is really pushing us to its limit. But the only thing we can do is struggle, pray, and keep going forward. I don't care if it's baby steps. I am not a therapist. I am not a licensed guru of any sort. I'm a schmuck going through a community college. Been there for several years already, 2 classes at a time. Even doing a few deaths already in my lifetime and the COVID nightmare. And dealing with a caregiving situation at home right now with my dog. She is my world. She's my life for right now. I consider myself a lifer regarding college. And sometimes I have to change that priority and viewpoint just to see what's important in front of my face right now. And right now, he's dealing with a dog that's barely awake and sleeping and wondering what's going on with me. Yeah, that's my dog for you. And to that special friend I was talking about. Hang in there, kid. Hang in there. Other than that, politics will make one feel nauseous. Each Sunday we've got politics talking about what's happening in the world of malarkey and everything else insane. You know what got to me this morning? Or actually not this morning, but when I heard about this one this past week. because we had students taking over campuses and mounting their displeasure at the current government system right now, handling the Middle East situation, I don't know how to classify it or talk about it in any other way except to say it's a Middle East situation we've got because it's inflaming everybody out there in the Middle East. And dealing with Hamas and their explosive nature, what they did, and caused a chain reaction that we're still dealing with it. We're still dealing with the after effect of this nuclear explosion like thing. How else do you want to call it? The after effects we're dealing with. We're irradiated by it. We're dealing with emotions. We're dealing with ideas and ideologies. We're dealing with religious cultures. We're dealing with a lot of things that have polarized us and practically nuked us into ashes already. We're walking zombies with this one. We're not looking for brains. We're looking for something of some kind of solution. And we don't know what the hell we're doing. Take the fact that we had students going to the college campuses and we have a few agitators coming in there raising holy hell. Or even causing more holy hell even on the other side. UCLA and USC are still dealing with it. USC is getting rid of the people in the quad, getting rid of the tents. They got enough of it. They got enough of it. I mean, they had enough of it. And UCLA already got rid of the tents already. They moved in with law enforcement. Law enforcement started dismantling everything, started tearing things apart. And then the day after, or actually hours after the arrest happened, I didn't say who and I didn't say what. After the arrest happened and the encampment was already torn apart, the cleanup was starting. And they showed some of the damage. It'll take them days to get that stuff off. Maybe repainted, replastered, or something like that to get rid of it. But the images are still there. And what got to me on this one is it's the snarky remarks coming from the corporate media at this point. They're practically browbeating the students who were protesting an injustice they felt they needed to address. They've got the constitutional right to do this. But no, the corporate media decides otherwise, and so did Congress. You had a few of their Trumplicants coming down to to at least a couple of the campuses. They got booed, or they got their asses booed. One of the Congress people was trying to tear down a Palestinian flag, and she got jumped on this one. Oh God, did she get brutally accosted on this one? It's like they don't have a right to protest. The students don't have a right to protest, to address what's wrong, what can be fixed. They were trying to tell their regents of their schools that they pay tuition to go to be educated. And in the process, when they're getting educated, they're also learning how to protest one way or another. If they've taken political science and history classes, they were getting educated on this one. So they're using what they were using. And people got pissed off about it. Too woke, too liberal. But this is colleges. Colleges are supposed to give you an opportunity to learn a lot of things. From the community college all the way up to the damn university level. I'm lower rung. I'm dealing with a lower rung. I'm in a community college. Been there for several years. I love it. I'm 58 years old. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Because I'm learning different things left and right. I love hanging around there. Eventually, you're going to kick my ass out of there. So here's the thing. Don't come back unless you want to study something else. Yeah, I do. You should go to the university level. Oh, screw that noise. Give me the community college. Give me the community college. I'm having too much fun. I've seen one guy go in there about 2 or 3 times getting a different degree or little AA here, little AA. I like that. I want to do that. I want to do that. Get a degree, associate arts in English literature. Maybe get another one for political science. Maybe get another one for history. I may not be getting a professional master or bachelor for that one. Like take an A. Some people will say, but that's nothing. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. I'm not going to be specializing in one thing, so I'd rather be getting a little taste of here, a little taste of there. That way I'd be a little bit more cultured. But this is me. A long time ago, when I got when I got out of high school, somewhere in there, Ma and I made agreement, and I had to fulfill my end on that one. Either I do it at college or I do work. I was doing college. I was doing college. You get out of high school, you're doing college. That's how the natural progression is. If David wasn't going to do it, Johnny Boy had to do it. So 2 years I wasted in there. I did say wasted on that one. Working at it like crazy. I'd taken the prerequisites. One of them was still kicking my ass during that time. Algebra. Pre-algebra. How to do the figuring, how to do the mathematics, to use the equations. I discovered during that time my education I didn't take really for granted, and I didn't work my ass off in school hard enough because I had to do the remedials to qualify for the first year. And then the second year, I tried to get a couple of classes down my throat that I could understand literature a little bit. I mean, I took American classics, and then I took English literature. Actually, it was American literature, and then English literature. Okay, yeah, that's what I did. But that's what I did. And I had a ball in both of them. I'd taken English history courses. I should have been taking American history. I'd taken the U.S. government, and I took the class. I tried to learn the process, but I didn't have any perspective or understanding of the damn thing. I didn't have the context. I mean, I was given the context, but where's the perspective? And this was in the late 80s that this happened. From 85 to 87, I was locked into something. I was also locked into video games. I also had to work part-time jobs. I had to work part-time jobs. Wasn't very good, but I worked part-time jobs. Had to keep the money going. I didn't go for any student aid. I didn't qualify somehow. So I had to work my ass off on that one. And when I didn't bring in the grades, when I got a letter of academic separation from the campus and from the college district, that was it. They gave me a year off. Ma wasn't going to let me be a dunce for a year. She was going to get my ass working. Otherwise, I was going to get kicked out and be homeless. So guess what, boys and girls? I worked my ass off for 30 years, different jobs left and right, trying to make sure that they're all full-time. So we had money coming into the house because I needed to pay for my portion of it. I needed to pay for rent. I needed to pay for the food. I needed to pay for the bills, the utilities, transportation. I had to pay for it. But I wasn't the only. I wasn't the only one. Ma and Dave were still doing their job. Dave was getting odd jobs here and there. He could. Security jobs, mostly. Maybe a truck driving job if he was lucky enough. He got educated for that one. And then. Oh, yeah. Ma and her bookkeeping and income tax special. She worked for different companies left and right, but then she got her business picking up. And in between clients, She tried to work other jobs. She was trying to kill herself. But we had to make ends meet. We all had to struggle at it. And during this time of struggle, I was kicking my ass off. I was just kicking my ass on this one royally. Why did I screw up in a community college? I should have done something about it. I should have been. Crash and burn on that one. That's for darn sure. So what did I do? Ma had the idea of putting me through business colleges. Maybe that would have gotten me. Maybe that would have. There's a way to phrase this in a correct fashion. Well, screw the correct fashion on this one. The courses were there basically to please her, but to give me job skills necessary to get a higher paycheck. Office work, different sections of office work, accounting a little bit, legal understanding, typing a great deal. I mean, a great deal. I needed more skills than that one during those days. How to be a better receptionist. Not a better cashier. Shit, I should have used that one. I mean, they had courses on how to be a cashier at a occupational center. Instead, what I picked up was what Ma wanted me to do. Transcription. In order to do that, you understand medical terminology. Okay, so I learned medical terminology. But if I was going to go anywhere, I'd take medical billing and coding. And that got me into a job. But they weren't college. They were just business courses. But they were necessary business courses. And I kept at myself, and I kept kicking myself in the ass on this one. It's not until after Ma died that I didn't see any other option. I wanted to go back to college. I mean, somewhere inside of me I wanted to go back, but on the outside I didn't want to. I was still going through a process of mourning and grieving Ma and everything else changing, and everything became different. And before Ma died, I was working at a job 5 years at Walmart. I got injured on the job. I had a tire fall on my face. So it screwed me up mentally and physically. I had to go through the process of disability. And right after she died, it took some time to process. Dave tried to go to college first. He wanted to see if he could do it. He couldn't do it because the pressure got to him. Had an angina attack. Take him to the hospital, and he discovered he couldn't do it. Me, on the other hand, I took a semester with him. Discovered I could do it. And I kept at it, and I kept at it, and I kept at it. I did it because it was necessary for me. So that's what I did. I did it. Each semester was getting closer and closer to graduation. But I wasn't trying to take it as heavy as my brother had. He was going to take about 3 or 4, and then his doctor told him, no, take 2 because it's going to be easier on your stress level. He barely could do it. Me, I was just going to take 2 classes at a time and see what the hell happened. And I had been working on it ever since. I don't regret it. I learned a lesson from my brother. I was 8 years younger than him, but still. So right now, I deal with what I got to deal with. Hoops I've got to still jump through. But I got to do it. I know I can do it. And I'm going to do it. Just don't ask me what the hell I'm going to do afterwards, because I don't know. I don't have an answer on that one, except maybe go back through it again. We'll see what happens on that end. Meanwhile, boys and girls, and everybody else, it's Sunday. Tomorrow, I gotta say, tomorrow is another Monday, and we haven't seen the bug guys coming over here in several weeks. I don't know what the hell happened between the corporation and Orkin, but I haven't seen anything coming through the pipeline. I'm going to have to shell out more of my money to get more bug traps going on to catch these sons of bitches. The bug war still continues. It's still continuing. And I heard that yesterday that we actually had in graduations of different colleges, we've had disturbances. One college actually had a walkout. I think it was Indiana University graduation had a walkout. Wisconsin also had a university that had the encampment cleared out too. But there was also um, protesting happening during the graduation ceremonies. So all the unrest that's happening these days, as I said before, we're all nuked. We're all screwed up. So I don't know what we're going to do. What I'm going to do is probably go back to bed again. It's only 4 o'clock in the morning, or I'll just stay up and be bored to death with everything else going on. What gripes me at this point? I've looked at all these people smiling, graduating out of universities and colleges. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. But I will be. I will be. Alright, guys.